Hello, YouTubers, friends, compatriots, bootlickers, shills, desolates, search peasants, vassals, Yemenis, yelping Yemenis. I'm a useful idiot, and yeah, man, we're going to talk about Yemen. And Yemen is becoming the focus, and this is an interesting sequence of events. So first of all, we had this global terror alert, and that was perplexing in itself. And it did two things right off the bat. Well, let's say it did three things right off the bat. Of course, it re-legitimizes the war on terror. And that's been an interesting sequence of events as well, because we had Obama declare that Al-Qaeda was all but destroyed and decimated in a couple of State of Union addresses. Now we have Congressman Pete King coming out and saying they're stronger than they ever were. And so we have that. And then we have the fact that NSA spying is being held up to say this is what the results are of our NSA spying. We found out about this terror attack, impending terror attack, and closed all these embassies. And so we have that, the justification for the surveillance program. And then third, we have this escalation of focus on Yemen. And for my regulars, and at least my regulars going back a little bit, they know that I've already done a couple videos on Yemen, and I'll attach those below because there's already a United States war going on in Yemen. Let's make that clear. And there is no doubt about that. And the reason why I say that is because most people are unaware that we already have 1,700 U.S. combat troops on the ground in Yemen, including heavy equipment to accompany them. So this isn't necessarily an advisor role. These are combat troops, and they've been there for at least the last 6 months, if not longer. And we've been escalating, or the United States has been escalating its involvement in Yemen for probably a year now, including a lot of drone attacks. And as a matter of fact, the first airstrike in Yemen was in November 2002. And between November 2002 and last month of 2013, there's been 226 military operations in Yemen. 226 U.S. military operations in Yemen in the last 10 years. And that includes aircraft strikes, drone missile strikes, and even strikes from warships. And 1,052 people have been killed in Yemen. And I'm sure every single one of them was a militant. And, 200 civilians. So out of 1,052 people killed in Yemen, 200 civilians, including that infamous American citizen was killed there. And then his son went looking for him in Yemen, and he was also killed. So that's how it goes in Yemen. And so it's interesting that all those embassies were closed, and yet the main focus was on Yemen. And then we also have the Yemenis government coming out and stating that they foiled a major terrorist attack in Yemen. And then we had an uptick in drone strikes. So we had 1 or 2 or 3 drone strikes a year. And then over the last couple of weeks, we've actually had 9 drone strikes. There were 34 so-called Al-Qaeda killed. And this is a war. And my gut feeling is that for some reason the Obama administration is giving Yemen a higher profile because perhaps our presence there is going to escalate. Which would probably mean more troops. But like I say, we've already got 1,700 U.S. combat troops on the ground. We have aircraft coming in from aircraft carriers, and we also have drones operating in Yemen and have for 10 years. So that's as clear as I can be. There is a United States war going on in Yemen, and we might be hearing a lot more about it soon, is my guess. And there's a couple other backstories to what's going on in Yemen as well. And one of them is the geographical location. Of course, just below Saudi Arabia, and just another area that the United States needs to control after extending U.S. influence throughout the Middle East. Yemen needs to come under more control and not provide a safe haven as the United States government says. But it turns out there was an article that appeared in January that said the United States wants to establish permanent military bases in Yemen. So that's also a new development. The United States is developing quite a relationship with Yemen. They want 3 permanent United States military bases to be built there, including the island of Socotra. So this is a dramatic development in the sense that there is more direct U.S. control of that region, and just another country that can be used as a staging point for operations in the region. So I would imagine within the next 2 or 3 years we're going to see a lot more U.S. operations carried out from that area as well. And then, to put icing on the cake, just like so many other countries in the region, they have vast unexplored oil fields. And in fact, there's 35 international companies currently competing to invest in 20 different oil sites throughout Yemen. So like we see throughout Africa, we're going to see the military vanguard go in there and quell any militancies, sell all the native armies across Africa weapons, and then basically open the door for Western exploitation resources and Western companies to come in and make a killing once things have been stabilized more. And that's a big shift and a necessary shift, because China's been able to operate freely in Africa because they don't really have as many qualms about working in areas that are insecure or working with questionable governments. They are just there to do business. And that's one of the things that's kept a lot of Western companies away. So now the U.S. is going in there with the creation of AFRICOM, and the United States is in 35 different countries in Africa right now. I did a video about that. The fact is that the United States is prepping for the influx of massive corporate presence in Africa. The telecom industry is already going crazy. They're getting cell phone saturation. So that's the future for Yemen. But for the meantime, my suggestion, this is only my speculation, that this worldwide terror alert was a multi-purpose PR propaganda campaign, and one thing that's going to come out of it is escalation of a already ongoing war in Yemen. I'm a useful idiot. Don't you be one too.